No?
I have an appointment with the Reverend Dr. Skipton of this asylum at 8 o'clock this morning. So can you let me in?
No?
Oh, well, can you please acquaint someone who can let me in that I'm here desiring admittance?
No. No.
Good morning.
Yes.
I have an appointment with Dr. Skipton.
Are you mad?
I'm a recent graduate of the University of Cambridge.
And tell me exactly, in your own words, what are the symptoms?
I doctored in physics. I'm applicant for a post.
And are you able to ascertain differences?
I think so. The difference is namely between what and what.
Do you know what this is?
Some form of tree-growing fruit.
It's a nut.
Yes.
Comes from far shores. Our sailors call it a peanut. Leguminous fruiting body. Earth nut. Monkey nut. Physic nut. Cantankerous nut. Small perennial flowering shrub growing no more than 2 feet above the ground and producing a crop of... Do you know what this is?
A camel.
Yes. Is there a difference?
Difference between what and what?
Is there a difference between a camel and a peanut?
That's ridiculous. There's so many.
No, none. If only the humps be considered.
Hello, I seek a Mr. Ewings.
Dr. Skipton.
Good day. Good day to you. Just apologies for tardiness. Sewage pipes.
No.
What is the difference between Mount Etna in full efflusion and the newly installed drainage pipes outside Ward 108?
Mount Etna in full efflusion and the newly installed sewage. Well, if we are concerning ourselves merely with a consideration of height of eruptive activity and acreage of contamination, none. None.
Correct. Come, Ewins, let us introduce you to the farm.
He calls it the farm because he breeds derangement.
Quite so.
No, not so. I husband derangement. I am the happy goat herd, the whistling shepherd watching o'er and praying that I have my few ready at market time and enough of metaphoric. Oh, could you bring the birds? Descendant of Genghis Khan.
Well, that is his delusion.
No, I think he is. Of a normality, Ewins, if we can ever speak of a normality in this museum of madness. The first object of a physician when he enters the cell of his deranged patient should be to catch his eye and look him out of countenance. You try it, Ewins. Now, for the purpose of the exercise, imagine for the moment I am of some 15 years' derangement, latterly exceptionally violent. You enter the cell. All right, catch my eye. Look me out of countenance. That's hopeless. Assuming I'm without restraints, I'm on you. I'm mauling you. Look again. The look, Ewins. Get it right.
Oh, yes.
And the tiger, the maddened bull, the enraged dog, all will fly from it. Don't forget the birds.
Oh.
Outside the cell of our intended visit, inhale deeply. Prepare the look. Not bad. Let us see its effect in the field. Second lesson for working here, Ewins. Always keep a full and functioning contact with your sense of humour. Without that, we join the beasts.
Yes.
Very good morning to you, Mary. Note the voice, Ewins. Obedience of a deranged patient is often secured by use of voice. In the governing of mad people, it should be harsh, gentle, even plaintive, all according to circumstances. In this case, I judge dignified but gentle. Very good morning to you, Mary. Mary was brought here 3 months ago by her sister Eliza. She'd given birth to the dead brat of a sailor who deserted her during the pregnancy. Time of her admission, her language was foulness itself. Demons and goblins were laughing at her and making mock of her from the walls. I immediately ordered a program of extreme tranquility for Mary. The Rush tranquilizer, inventor Benjamin Rush, distinguished physician to the Pennsylvania Hospital until 1813. Interestingly, a signatory to the Declaration of Independence. This, Ewins, is the most complete restraint of a patient's movement yet devised. Note, staples fixed to the floor confine the chair to one spot. Board at the back of the chair rises and falls, the more comfortably to accommodate the height of the patient. The wooden box lined with stuffed linen. Inside, the patient's head is so fixed that it cannot fall forward, nor backward, nor incline to either side. Flat and firm pieces of leather form the chest and belly bands. Leather, of course, too, the material used to confine the patient's hands and arms. Leather, so much kinder than the ironwork shackles of the bad days of yore. Wooden projection from the main body of the chair, in which the patient's feet are so fixed that they cannot move in any direction. The stool pan, half filled with water, whose soiled contents may be drawn out, emptied, replaced, without disturbing the patient. You could slop away the stool pan, Ewins.
There doesn't seem to be anywhere to...
Over there. Mary was brought here at a very late hour. She was mistakenly conducted to me whilst I was in my carpeted apartments. And such were the poisons in her mad froth at that time, issuing in abundance from her blasphemous mouth, she quite changed the patternings of portions of the carpeting, and I mean permanently. Despite the vigorous applications of soaps and dissolvents, the good Mrs. Skipton is quite unable to eradicate these nauseous mementos of Mary's first visit to our abode. The mere 12 week of enforced tranquilization, fed good food, plenty of beer, humbly present a result. Very good morning to you, Mary. A quick stool pan, Ewins. No telling how her excitement may express itself. Now, Mary, today I am removing, hopefully forever, your face piece. Note, Ewins, I keep the head in its restraint, merely remove the face piece. What? Oh, yeah. There we are, Mary. What a nice hat. You look so bonny. Right, Ewins. Very good day to you, Mary. You noted the extreme tranquility of Mary, Ewins.
I did, sir.
That tranquility has been our joy for the last 4 weeks. And her mania on arrival. Well, I've mentioned the carpeting. We now seek communication with her, hence I set her that simple transferential conundrum. We shall return in 4 hours. She may speak. I expect it. No miracles here, Ewins. Just damnably hard work. Splendid gaiters. Morning, Mr. Figg. And this is who?
This is Mr. Henready.
Good day to you, Mr. Henready. Wonderful ruddy face.
Mr. Henready's a farmer. He and his wife have a small holding. His cows died.
Loss of cows. That's how I'll fill it in. It's insane, Ewins, the amount of paperwork that's been forced on us in the last 8 years or so. Loss of cows. We haven't had one of those before.
Euphemia! The last thing on earth we 2 gentlemen would have bother us at lunchtime is a meal for 2 in the conservatoire. And if there was to be one, no port. There must be no port.
Good heavens, if I look back upon the trouble and anxiety I underwent with that creature, I don't know how I ever lived through it. Her filth and her fury and her disgusting language. Almost constant nakedness for nearly 2 months. Totally impossible to keep any clothes on her. Yes. Scarcely possible to keep her from tearing her own flesh to pieces, as well as others. Until Euphemia, I had thought I could restrain any derangement with a straight waistcoat. But the teeth of Euphemia bid defiance to every attempt to keep even that on her. And today, she's my personal maid, like myself and Mrs. Skipton. Will you be honouring us with your attendance at supper?
Thank you.
Cure by water.
By water?
Everything prepared? Yes, sir. Good. This is Mr. Arthur Labbis. Mr. Labbis, May I help you to your acquaintance with Mr. Arnold Fowlis Ewins, lately of the University of Cambridge, hopefully now to be joining us.
How do you do, Mr. Lavis? They're at me. They're everywhere. They're here now.
Mr. Lavis is a gentleman of the age of 42. Before his admission here, he had drunk freely and become of an excitable and impatient disposition. On admission here, he was suffering from various hallucinations. Mr. Lavis, be so kind as to inform Mr. Ewins of the Green people.
Firstly, they're not people. They're not flesh and blood. Nor do I believe they're dead souls. Ghosts. No. They walk through walls. They have no faces. They are green. But of a greenness I have never seen.
Do they speak?
I believe they do communicate, one with another. But he has no mouth.
Treatment, thus far with little effect, has been cuppings to the neck, baths with effusions, foot baths, and lemonade. Afterwards, he was ordered to work. This he obstinately declined doing. Current treatment, therefore, the douche. Now, Arthur, I am going to tell you of all you have told me in the past, and Mr. Ewins here today. There is not a word of truth in any of it. All you have told us is sheer nonsense, and it is because you are insane you have been placed here.
Reverend Skipton, I am not insane. I cannot help seeing the green beings under my bed or in the subterranean passages because they are there. And having said that, is there no hope of my getting out of this place?
Your removal from here is certainly a possibility, but only when you cease to refuse your work and cease to maintain your follies. Will you promise not to speak of them, not to me nor to any man?
I will not speak of them. But they march towards me with such forbidding faces, and they have no mouths.
Return this the douche, Mr. Lavis, and I shall continue to order the douche every day until you do two things. Come and ask me to allow you to work, and speak at no time of green beings.
This douching is distressful, sir. How can I belie myself? The green beings infest me now. They infest me in multitudes.
Will you work now willingly, yes or no?
I promise you, I will work. And I thank you for having relieved me of my ideas.
Welcome, welcome, Mr. Lavis. Take Mr. Lavis, after he's dried and dressed, to the kitchens. A good meal, including of some meat, no beer nor wines. And then peel some potatoes, Mr. Lavis, for the general good.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Loss of cows.
It would be a cheaper treatment in the long run, would it not, sir, to buy him some more cows?
Hardly medical, Ewins. Besides, what happens if they die? They must ensure he does not leave here until his spirit is sufficiently robust to wear with fortitude the loss of cows, sheep, pigs and horses. No member of staff, from the top to the lowest factotum, is permitted in that spinney yonder.
Oh?
It is for the patients alone and their private times.
That they may cultivate solitude.
Yes. But I understand they cultivate it in pairs. Ah, Euphemia.
Gentlemen, your punishment for running a bumhole asylum is this banquet.
How ghastly. One thing could make it more terrible, port.
Yes, and that unfortunately we have in abundance.
Sabotage, mutiny.
I leave you to your misery, gentlemen.
Ivy. Why, Ewins, is ground ivy still unadmitted to our pharmacopoeia? In my early days here, I employed ground ivy with the most advantageous results, especially in melancholia. In those days, it would tranquilize a patient in minutes. The mode in which I generally directed it to be employed was a wine glass full of the freshly expressed juice twice or thrice daily. I saw many aberrations of the mind subside and disappear with scarcely more than ground ivy concoction and gently firm talk.
And you employ it still?
No.
Why is that, sir?
For the reason, onions, Ewins, have some more port, yes. For the reason, Ewins, that it no longer works here. Here. It used to work here, and I have no doubt that for its time it would work somewhere else. Drugs should be used as soon as they're thought of, before they cease in that locale to act. The autumn vomits.
Left turn. Now, vomiting. Two fingers. Two fingers.
I bleed the whole asylum. Very few exceptions, the latter end of May or beginning of May, according to weather. Following spring bleeding, vomits once a week for 6 weeks. Now, hoods a trifle late. And then a good old rouse of vomit at the first frost of autumn. A singular practice here, my own institution, no doubt to be copied, and learned treaties written, is to vomit in large batches. The patients by and large prefer it, and often a healthful camaraderie develops.
I've brought you to this particular ward so you can see our very important work in progress, namely the grading of idiots. Here they're being tested for tactile sensibility. What is this?
A basket of corn.
Basket. Thank you. Sensibility to musical sounds. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Very good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Consumption of food. Manifestation of amative feelings. Perceptive and reflective skills. Self-preservation. Social attachments. Moral sentiments. Over here, these are idiots of the lowest class, mere organisms, masses of flesh and bone in human shape in which the brain and nervous system has no command over the system of voluntary muscles. They're without power of locomotion, without speech, without any manifestation of the intellectual faculties. These are fools. Fools are a higher class of idiot in which the brain and nervous system has partial command of the voluntary muscles. They have considerable powers of locomotion and animal action. A very good day to all you fools. Say hello, meet a few fools, Ewins. Forbidding at first, but not at all the worst thing we encounter.
How'd you
Good.
do?
Let them touch you if they wish. That's it. But any liberty, bark the offender away. Good. That'll do. Bark him. Bark him away.
That was good.
Thank you. These are simpletons. Simpletons are the highest class of idiot. Harmony between the nervous and muscular system, almost perfect. Considerable activity of the perceptive and affective faculties. And reason enough for their own individual guidance, not enough for their social relations. And a word in your ear, Ewins. A very great deal of interest in our programme of idiot grading. This gentleman of monocular authority over here is from America. Mr. Humboldt? May I introduce you, gentlemen? Arnold Fowlis Ewins, graduate of Cambridge. James Murnett Humboldt, Earlsfield Home for Idiots, Pennsylvania. Now, what exactly are you doing today, James? I want to listen to you, Ewins. Yes.
Well, the degree of activity in an ordinary person is designated as 10. Now, I examine an idiot. If he shows no sense of property, no idea of right, no benevolence, no affection or regard for anybody, he is marked nil. But if he has the faintest sense of property, he is marked 1. If he has affections, 2. If he manifests rudiments of respect for others, 4 and 5. Now, ability to count. Now, take this idiot here. Hello, sir. Now watch carefully. I place 3 apples before him. Slyly, I remove one. Does he perceive the loss? I deem he does not. I mark him nil. Now, this idiot. Sit up, please, sir. Now, would you count for me? Up to 10 at least.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11.
Missed 8, but got to 11. I marked that 4.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Now, where's my star idiot? Where's idiot 225? Oh, here we are. Idiot 225. Hello, sir. Now, this idiot, idiot 225, has very little use of language. Where were you born, sir? There, you see, virtually nil in language. Intellect limited, to all intents, an idiot. But yet, Mr. Ewens, tell him your age.
25.
His age is 25.
1, 3, 1, 4, 0, 0, 0, 0.
1, 3, 1, 4, 0, 0, 0, 0. That is the number of minutes in 25 years. But of course that number is not quite correct because it does not take into account the number of leap years. The final figure we'll have in a moment.
1, 3, 4, 1, 6, 4, 8, 0.
There you are. The number of minutes in your life so far, including leap years. I mark him 18. Perhaps you think I should mark him higher.
Good Lord. Nose there all right, Adam? And the virile member? Syphilophobia. Adam, married, doing well, has inadvised concourse with a wench living in the servants' building. Grows pensive. Fancies he has contracted the foul disease. Comes to me. Tears, wringing of hands. Fears he's given it to his wife and child. Physical investigation. We assure him not so. He insists. Tries to take his brains out on the wall. Persists in delusion of imminent loss of nose and dropping off of the bald-headed mouse. Give your delightful engine of increase another tug, Adam. Still there? Will it be there tomorrow?
It is my prayer.
It is my prayer. Weeks are going into months, months may go into years, where he just knows the silly thing is there, without recourse to prayer or Johnny Little Yankings.
A fern leaf and a lump of ice. What do they have in common?
Pass. Ewins?
I don't know.
Ice preceded all. If something had examined the very first ice, it would have predicted Epping Forest, jungles of the Amazon, the redwoods of America. I am the something that examines the ice of now, and I predict angio-Rebellion
Now, Ewins, a moment for reflection.
I hope I don't prove refractory, sir.
The two left sides of me co-joined. Making what?
I don't know.
A pirate?
Well, yes, sir, certainly. A pirate.
Comedians.
Yes.
Stand on this spot here. Not a pirate?
No.
I see a woman. You see her? Yes. You see the woman?
Is this a study?
Indeed. Look. Hello. My name's Elizabeth. What's your name?
Mirabelle.
Do you have little secrets, Mirabelle?
I don't tell everyone everything, if that's what you mean.
Oh, you could tell me everything.
I could never tell anyone everything.
Madam, the Queen of England almost drowned in crossing our narrow channel, and her royal husband she saw before her perish on the scaffold. Good day to you, Squire.
Good day to you, James.
A priest, a father, a saintly man, a shepherd of his flock, a cynic, an unbeliever, a debauchee. The twain meet, sorrow, scandal. Will your attendances honour our humble charade?
With a certainty, James.
Male. Female. Black. White. Sinner. Saint. In us all, a collision. I ask it. You're a young man, Ewins. I open before you a major inquiry.
Quite, sir.
John Acker. Very good morning to you, John. May I present Mr. Arnold Fowlis Ewins? John was first admitted over a year ago. His disease first came on suddenly, while he was working in the garden on a very hot day without any covering to his head. A few years before, he had travelled with a gentleman over a great part of Europe, and his ideas ran particularly on what he had seen abroad. Sometimes he conceived himself the King of Denmark, other times the King of France. Although naturally dull, wanting common education, he professed himself a master of all the dead and living languages. Certainly he was genuinely able to converse in Old French. He claimed a recollection of having come over here with William the Conqueror. His temper at that time was irritable, and he quarrelled with everybody about him.
We tranquilized him in the rush chair for about 5 weeks, followed by regular douchings. Then, perceiving much advancement in his case, I was emboldened to pass 2 strong electric shocks from a Leyden bottle. Directions from the frontal to the occipital bone and from one temporal bone to the other. John was not at all stunned by these shocks, more surprised, and in a very few minutes desired me to repeat them. So I then ventured to pass the full force of the bottle. This likewise produced no other effect than a slight headache, which lasted for an hour or so. Within a month, he was properly tranquil, completely relinquished his absurdities. When addressed in Old French, had clearly no knowledge of that tongue, and he was discharged. He went into the country with his wife, settled some domestic affairs. Sadly, in about 5 weeks, he relapsed. He was readmitted, then suffering from a paralytic affection. His speech inarticulate, his mouth drawn aside. He shortly became stupid, and his legs swelled. Medical opinion is unanimous that John's remaining days in this vale of tears are few in number. He's checked 4 times a day. For the moment his soul departs for a happier place, I want that head opened. I have an intimation there will be much of interest and surprise in there. Very good day to you, John.
Time the Comforter, adapted from a short story by Voltaire, by our own Reverend Dr. James Benignus Skipton. The great philosopher Ctesiphilus was one day in company with a lady friend who was in the utmost affliction and who had very good reason to be so.
Madam, the Queen of England, the daughter of our great Henry, was as unfortunate as you. She almost drowned in crossing our narrow channel and saw her royal husband perish on the scaffold.
Oh, I'm very sorry for her. But if I weep, it is for my own misfortunes.
But think of Mary Stuart. She loved very honorably the most noble musician who sang the finest tenor in the world. Her husband killed her musician before her very eyes. And then her good friend and good relation, Queen Elizabeth, who first kept her in prison 18 years, contrived to have her beheaded on a scaffold covered in the finest black.
That was very cruel of her. But nonetheless, these tears I weep are for my own misfortunes.
You have perhaps heard of the beautiful Joan of Naples. She was seized, you know, and strangled.
I have a confused remembrance of it.
I must tell you of a queen who was dethroned in my own time and who died in a desert island.
Yeah, I know the whole story, yet...
Well then, how can you think of being so miserable when so many queens and great ladies have been miserable before you? Oh. Think of Hecuba, of Niobe.
Ah! Yeah, if I had lived in their time, or in the time of those beautiful princesses of whom you speak, and if to comfort them you had told them my griefs, do you think they would have listened to you?
philosopher Sitophilus went home pondering the lady's question. The next day, the philosopher lost his only son and was at the point of death with affliction. The lady came to visit him.
I have for you a... I have for you a list of all the kings who ever lost their children, that it might comfort you in your time of grieving.
This list is very accurate.
3 months later, they meet again and are astonished to find themselves so gay.
Let us build a... Now, let us erect a beautiful statue to time and order this inscription to be placed upon it. To the Comforter!
To the Comforter!
Thank you very much to James, Philip and Noni for such a spirited performance. And may I take this opportunity of introducing you all to Mr. Arnold Fowlis Ewins, joining us today in our pursuit of care, cure and love. And may I also thank you for the letter which a fair few of you here signed. I've been to the trustees, and the promise is more meat. I trust you're doing nothing which benefits the community.
I am instigating riot.
Splendid. Isn't she a delight? Quadroon.
Dr. Skipton, I can't help noticing that in conversation with Euphemia, you always say the opposite of what you actually mean.
Oh, she was a terror when she was brought here. Absolute terror. Then I made the discovery that her particular hallucination was a determined opposition to the wishes of those about her. We only had to express the opposite of our wishes, and they were immediately done. Euphemia, don't eat that food, it is for another person. Immediately taken up and eaten. Euphemia, don't take that medicine, that is for Lady Trots. Swallowed in one. Euphemia, tear all your clothes to pieces. She remained stressed.
Can you laugh, Ewins? Yes? May I hear you? Sir, I can only laugh when I find something funny. Hardly a singular skill.
To effect any advance with the so-named laughing lunatic, one must first become a master of the devil's tools. The giggle. Ewins?
Pathetic. The titter. The rollick.
Rollick?
The guffaw. The guffaw. Very good. Woo. What? Woo. What? Woo. 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 Woohoo. Woo. Woo. The chortle, the chortle, the chortle.
No. Ho, 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 ho.
Yes, chortle. And the laugh of riot. The Maffick! The Maffick! I term those all the devil's laughter. Laughter which has as its ground a derision of the works of the Lord. Laughter which insists on a meaninglessness of life. My method in a laughing ward. On entering, join the contagion. Chortle, whoop, maffick, guffaw. Then mutate the laughter upwards. Turn the devil's laughter to the Lord's rejoicing. A non-verbal paean of praise to the beauty and wonder of life. Exaltation and jubilation for the meticulous organization with which God hath wrought this world.
Ready?
Yes.
Very good evening to you, Mary. Do you wish to speak to me? Any dreams? Nightmares? Speak free. Yes? Butts?
Birds
Birds, yes.
on my head in my dream.
No. No dream, Mary. There were birds on your head. Look. This was your hat. There were indeed birds on your head. Yeah, your poor head, Mary. Ewins, remove the droppings from Mary's head.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's been packed. Medicaments. Welcome, Mary. Douching, Leyden bottle, 1 year, 2 years. But she's back in the world. We rejoice, Mary. See how we rejoice.
Return it. Return the look, Ewins. Yes. Try the gentleman with the red nose. Join the contagion, Ewins.
I think I already have done, sir.
Mr. Henready, where's your keeper, Mr. Fig? What? Mr. Henready, I have a notion that may speed your repair. Mrs. Skipton?
You're a buffoon, Mr. Skipton. Now I've lost the canary up the chimney.
Oh, may I present Mr. Arnold Ewins, who'll be dining with us tonight?
Anything you don't eat.
I'm not at all partial to haddock.
Euphemia, wherever you are, don't interrupt us. We want no dinner. Nothing, absolutely nothing to eat, and don't get on with it immediately. Stand there, then.
Come here, you little... Come here. Come here.
What funny weather we've been having lately.
Euphemia, I am dispatching Mr. Arnold Ewins in there to oversee you, to make certain that an utter idleness is maintained in your culinary kingdom. Ewins?
You must not allow me to put my arms around you. Mrs. Skipton, is she a woman?
I believe so. I'm happy to say that I've never seen Mrs. Skipton naked. And without such a catastrophe, there can never be absolute certainty as to her gender, can there? No. But for a marriage happily to sustain, there must ever be some mystery. Euphemia, Mr. Ewins will be sleeping tonight in the blue room. You will at no time during the duration of his rest find your way in there.
Thank you.
John Acker's dead, sir.
Is he, by God?
Poor things. There's no way out. Is that?
The bird of love hath a plumage so rare, ordinary, it sweeps from my heart every trouble and care. Joy.
It doesn't really sound so good when you change it like that. I mean, rather, it sounds capital. It sounds excellent. You must never kiss me again.